Hi guys, welcome to today's series of IIM Kozhikode Verbal Ability. So we have been discussing some models on vocabulary. So let's start today's video with contextual vocabulary. So what is contextual vocabulary? It's something where you try to decipher the meaning, you try to infer the meaning from the given sentence or given passage, right? So it's the thing where you don't need to memorize the meaning. For example, let's see here. Despite his flamboyant style, his arguments lacked depth. What is the meaning of flamboyancy? If they ask you the meaning of flamboyancy, flamboyant usually means flashy or showy. Matlab, he was so showy, he was so flashy with all these things, but actually the arguments lacked depth. With the use of despite here, you can understand that this is something in contrast to what is being said here. Okay. So like that you try to decipher the meaning, right? So let's look at some more questions now. Okay, let's look at types of contextual clues. Sometimes we have definition. Sometimes the meaning is directly explained in the sentence itself. For example, look at the sentence. The arboretum, a place where trees are grown, is now a public park. Arboretum is nothing but a place where trees are grown. This is pretty simple. It's mainstream. It's direct. It's given there, right? Synonym clues. See, her mood was somber, dark, and gloomy. Sometimes, when the author wants to stress on the mood, when the author wants to be very precise about what is being described about the character or something, they do use some of the extra words, and with the simplification of these words, you understand what the actual word means here, right? Then we have sometimes antonym clues. For example, unlike his gregarious sister, he was introverted and quiet. So what does this tell you? Gregarious is a word which is opposite to introverted and quiet. So someone who speaks a lot is gregarious. Okay, someone who is very social, who speaks a lot is gregarious, but this fellow is introverted and he is quiet. Let's see some more. Examples also help sometimes. For example, celestial bodies like sun, moon, stars. See, so what is the meaning of celestial? The things which are up in space, right? Which are just there in the universe, right? Orbiting around their stars. And sometimes we have inference clues. The reader must guess the meaning using the logic. The hikers trudged through the arduous trail, their faces drenched in sweat and fatigue. So what would you understand from this? If their faces are drenched in sweat and fatigue, obviously the route is very tough, very hard, right? So that would be the meaning that you can decipher from the context here, right? Let's look at some more. Yeah, so let's try to decode a simple strategy. When you read the sentence carefully and when you identify the clue words, this is the main thing. You got to identify the clue words and whether this word is positive or negative. And the word which is positive or negative, what is the function it is playing with regard to the word we are trying to decipher, the meaning of the word we are trying to decipher, right? Is it synonym? Is it an antonym, or does it contrast, or it explains? So what is that? And then you can just eliminate the choice that doesn't fit the context, right? Okay, let's practice some here. See, it might not be possible to practice to a very large extent, but the main aim is you have to revise all the model questions and you have to try to learn as many words as possible. Okay, let's look at this. After being ostracized, after being ostracized by the group, he sat alone during lunch for weeks. So here is the clue we have. Okay, he's alone. He used to be in a group, now he is alone. So what do you think that means? Is it praised, excluded, hired, or fooled? I think it's pretty clear here that he is excluded, right? Yeah, he was left out. Let's see one more question. The ancient temple was adorned with intricate carvings that fascinated historians. So what do you think intricate means? See, here he is asking about intricate and he says that historians are fascinated by this. So if it is simple, would they be fascinated? No. If it's old or broken, would they be fascinated? No. Obviously, they had to be delicate yet complex, right? That is what is the source of their fascination, right? Yeah, next. Okay, his response was terse, brief, and to the point. See, here we have a direct explanation. So terse, what would it mean? Is it rude, detailed, unclear? No, obviously brief is nothing but short, brief, and to the point, right? Pretty easy. Let's look at some more questions now. Okay. Despite the lavish praise, her modesty was unwavering. So, what do you think lavish means? Modesty means? Lavish is when they have a very wealthy, you know, lifestyle, or something like she has so much of, it might be her capability at work, or it might be her beauty, or it might be about anything. Okay, people praise her very much, but still we can see that she is very modest. What does that mean? Is she having a lot of pride? No. Is it related to beauty? No. Is it about her confidence we are talking? No. It's the humility. What is humility? When you're down to earth, when you're humble, right? Yeah, so despite the price, she always remained humble. Let's look at other question. The thunder was ominous, foreshadowing the storm that soon followed. Okay, so we are being asked about omniscience here. Foreshadowing. What does that mean? It means that the thunder is very powerful than the storm that has followed after that. So is it cheerful? No. Is it relaxing? No. See, these are positive words. We are trying to find a negative word here. Strange is a negative word, but it doesn't fit the context. But threatening, look at the context here. The thunder was so threatening that even after that, even when a storm has come into the picture, it was still very, threatening. Let's look at the answer. Yes, foreshadowing storms suggests a great danger ahead. Okay, so why don't you pause here, look at this slide, and try to guess the meaning. Okay, this is your activity, this is your homework. Okay, let's go to another model in vocabulary. What are misspelt word questions? So sometimes, maybe if you have seen in your indoor Rotak papers, you will have these very simple yet confusing questions. Then nothing but 4 options would be given. Okay, see, yeah, the traps 4 options would be given of the same word, with different spellings. You just have to identify which one is the right spelling there. Okay, so what you can do is, generally the things you have to take care are double letters. Okay, and EI and IE traps: receive, believe, conceive, perceive. Okay, you should be aware whether is it EI or IE. Silent letters like subtle, receipt. Okay, and sometimes you can just obviously eliminate the wrong answer by looking at that, right? This is very important. Always stick to British spellings, because you can be confused with color, or especially all the words which have U in them: color, order, right? So stick to British English, because Indian Standard English is generally follows British English. Okay, yeah. Yeah, these are just practice things. Okay, there is nothing much to learn here. I just want you to pick the right option. Okay, and if you have picked C, yes, you're right. Let's see one more question. So we are here with embarrass. See, these are sometimes, we are so used to texting these days that we do make spelling mistakes a lot. See, we maybe you are still writing, but once you become an adult, it would be much more convenient for you guys to type than write. And in order to be very strong with spellings, you have to be careful here. Okay, if you have marked B, then yes, you're right. Okay, let's see next question. Choose, yeah, again, and Yes, if you have marked C, you're right. And again, this is pretty easy. Yeah, if you have marked B, it's right. Okay. See, this is just for you to remind that there is also this kind of question that you can encounter in the exam. Okay. Yeah. Again, yeah, if you have marked B, then you're right. See, I'm giving a gap so that you can pause and you can, try to guess this right one. See, they might appear very simple, but when you're actually trying to do that, you will face the difficulty. So don't take these lightly, okay? And yeah, if you have marked C, then you are right. Let's see some more. Yeah. Yes. See, please always go with MM. I have seen so many students getting confused with single M. Yeah, again. Yeah, if you have marked C, you're right. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So let's come to next model. Contextual usage of the word. Okay. So generally what happens is you're given one word and the same word is used in all the four options in four different sentences, but only one among them is correctly used in the context, both grammatically and semantically. Okay. See, generally these are asked to, test your knowledge on the multiple meanings of the same word, how depth is your vocabulary, and how aware of you about grammar. Okay. Sorry. Okay. Sometimes there are many incorrect usages that we even put in our daily usage. They might sound right, but you should be grammatically aware to point out that they are wrong. Okay. So what you can do is you have to understand the core meaning of the word and identify the part of speech, because sometimes what happens is the thing which you are trying to the thing which seems strikes perfectly good, or yeah, it blends in the sentence so nicely, turns out that it's not the word but it's a part of the idiom that we are not aware of. We'll see such kind of questions. Okay. mm. Eliminate sentences with awkward grammar. Yeah, sometimes you have this feeling that but this doesn't fit right, but this doesn't go well with the sentence, right? You can eliminate, you can take such hunches in these kind of questions. Trust your ear but verify with logic. Okay. Okay, let's see for the word strike. Yeah, so the same word is being used in four different sentences. The workers decided to strike a balance between work and protest. Okay, this seems like, yeah, fine. She was awarded for the strike of her painting. Really, strike of her painting? Okay, let's see. They found gold when they decided to strike deeper into the cave. Yeah, right. What is the meaning of strike here? When you like take a heavy, axe or something, and when you give a blow, that is your strike. I had to strike my homework before submitting it. Like, just think logically. If you're gonna submit something, why would you strike it? Right? So this would not come contextually. This is wrong, right? And you might think, ma'am, we have A and C, which is correct. But please understand that strike a balance. Here, strike is not used as an individual word. It's a part of idiomatic expression. Okay, this is not used as individual word. It's a part of idiomatic expression. So here we are being asked only about the word. So the answer would be C. Okay, to strike. Okay, strike means discover something valuable. Often go is correctly used here. Yeah, idiomatic meaning or verb usage, as we have discussed. Let's see one more with fine. Okay, she paid a heavy fine for submitting the assignment early. Okay, again, contextually, why would she pay fine if she's submitting the assignment early? Like if you're submitting late, yeah, that makes sense, right? The details on the coin were marked fine and precise. Okay, I'm feeling a bit fine. What do you say after the surgery? What do you say? I'm feeling better after the surgery. I'm fine now, right? What is a bit fine, right? That was a very fine penalty he took in the match. Like, do you say fine penalty? You can either use fine or you can either use penalty. How can you combine both the words, right? So it's very clear here, I think, right? It should be B. Okay, here when fine, it means very detailed, right? Yeah, it's very delicate and detailed. Is contextually correct. Okay, chalo. Let's see for the word bound. Okay, he was legally bound to stay away from the property. Okay, this makes sense. The book was bound to be boring due to its length. Okay, she bound her friend for skipping class. Can you what is the meaning of bound generally when you physically take someone or take something, right? Even that comes under bound. We were bound when we arrived home. I think C and D are pretty easy to eliminate, right? So, what is the meaning of bound when you're legally when you're legally asked to do something? You're bound by that, right? The book was bound to be boring due to its length. No, right? Bound to, again, as we can see, it's an idiomatic expression. Okay, it's not just a single word, it's an idiomatic expression which means likely to. Just the same logic as the previous one, even though this seems very right to listen to see, it's an idiomatic expression, it's not a single word. Okay, be careful about this. Let's see for the word trip. He planned a school trip to the museum. Okay, be careful not to trip your tongue. Yeah, right? She took a trip over the homework. Do you take a look over the homework, right? And then you do the homework, right? The lights went on a trip last night. See, this one, we do say that electricity tripped last night, or we didn't have full amount of electricity, the lights went off, something like that. But we don't say they went on a trip. The went on a trip means they went for some vacation or something. Okay, so that doesn't apply here. So only the first one is contextually right. Okay, trip means a short journey and it's used correctly in the first one. Yeah, sometimes we might also get a portion where we mix a part of speech. Yeah, and we try to we assume that all of them are right, but please look for idioms. Okay, that is, I think, the common trap that you might fall for. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. Let's meet you in the next video.